Hello, welcome to Nocti by colleague j.N.S. And today we are continuing with the Black American series. We are on part 10, which is Redlining, 1936 through 1968. So during the Great Depression, as we know, lasted from 1929 until 1939, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed a trademark called the New Deal. It was a legislation to stabilize the U.S. economy, to decrease unemployment, and to develop an ecosystem of social welfare benefits that ensured a better quality of life for all of its citizens. So one of these benefits was called the Homeowners Loan Act of 1933. And this was a policy that passed with the intent to reduce the number of foreclosures. The act created the Homeowners Loan Corporation, which is HOLC, which is a government-funded institution that provided mortgage assistance in the form of refinancing for struggling homeowners in 1934. Also in 1934, the Federal Housing Administration, which is the FHA, was created through the passage of the National Housing Act. The FHA set zoning laws and managed the underwriting and insurance of government-backed home loans. So the process of the mortgage approval was systematic, and the FHA published its underwriting manual in 1936. And the manual dictated several factors that could be used to determine property value and credit risk for mortgages. And obviously, these factors were related to property location, smoke, fog, and inharmonious racial groups. The manual further stated that a change in racial occupancy generally leads to less or destroyed owner occupancy appeal. So the incorporation of race as a factor in property value perpetuated such stereotypes and actually institutionalized housing segregation. If a property was deemed too risky, the FHA would not insure the property mortgage, significantly reducing the likelihood of private financing. The OHLC, and remember that's the Homeowners Loan Corporation, published maps for each major city using color coding to indicate each neighborhood's risk. Inner city neighborhoods home to the largest Black American communities were outlined in red, indicating the highest risk properties. This is the process of redlining, which we are more or less familiar with. And this effectively excluded Black Americans from the government subsidies that they were supposed to obtain, supporting new and struggling homeowners. We didn't get that benefit. So in 1944, a decade after the FHA was created, President Roosevelt signed into law the Servicemen Readjustment Act, which is also known as the GI Bill, anticipation of, the World War II veterans, which we covered in another video. And because of the potential housing shortage. So the bill provided veterans with many benefits, including employment services, stipends for education, and obviously loans and subsidies for buying a home. The bill also provided government-insured low-interest loans and offered even more favorable terms for new construction. The Veteran Administration adopted the FHA underwriting regulations for insuring home loans and refused to insure Black Americans in designated white neighborhoods. As a result, the GI Bill exacerbated housing inequality. The denial of insurance in these Black neighborhoods caused financial institutions and private investors to significantly reduce investments in inner cities. So now you see why it's a bunch of corner stores, no grocery stores, and all that stuff, and riffraff. So in fact, the FHA discouraged banks from making any loans in urban neighborhoods and instead encouraged investments in newly built suburbs. In 1973, the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights concluded that the housing industry, aided and abetted by government, must bear the primary responsibility for the legacy of segregated housing. Government and private industry came together to create a system of residential segregation, which is simple as that, which loans were made in the inner cities, and they were often offered at a higher subprime rates to Black Americans who would have otherwise qualified for lower prime interest rates. The higher rates contributed to significantly higher foreclosure rates in Black neighborhoods. Nearly 50 years or 100 years after the FHA was created, a 2019 study concluded that Black families, even those located in primarily white neighborhoods, were still more significantly likely to foreclose on homes due to these discriminatory lending practices, these racist practices. So as you can see, here is a map of Atlanta, that comes from, the manual that I was just telling you about. And as you can see, all the areas that are lined in red, this is an example of the redlining. Blue, yellow, green, So I was showing you this because we all know about redlining, but we don't necessarily know the details of what redlining is. We don't know that the FHA was involved, that the HOLC was involved, that the VA was involved. So it's important for you to know this, Black Americans, so that you have the ammunition and the tools for making your case against getting your reparations, making these things more equitable, and even putting it at the government's table. Like, this is what y'all did. Are y'all kidding me? And then society and white people, they looking at us like, oh, y'all can't get it together, pull up by the bootstraps. What? So yes, we should be self-determined, because I believe even look at the strides we have made despite with this government and what white people have tried to do in this racism. Look at what we have done. Look how intelligent many of us are, from the hood, been in projects and all this stuff. Look at the feats that we have made as a people, and I'm going to show you even more stuff when we get to the inventions and science. And we have done so many things in spite of everything they have tried to do to the tribe of Judah, to the Kafalme tribe. So the Black Americans, we should not let this be an excuse for us to not build and for us to just feel like, oh, we are self-determined people. But these people got to know what they have done, and they got to cough up that debt. Not only they got to cough up that debt, they gotta apologize and take it and have something on the books to where they can't fuck with us again. This redlining and all this crazy shit is weird. Like, it's like, really? It's weird, and it's uncalled for. So these are the things that the Black American had to deal with, straight up. And all these other immigrants, y'all came over here off the backs of what my people went through for 600 years. And y'all love looking down on us and disrespecting us when we are more resilient than you. And that's a fact. We didn't flee our country. We did not go and leave, which we could. And that's always an option. And I'm not shaming y'all for doing that, because if y'all countries was shitholes, or if y'all countries was dealing with a bunch of corruption and all types of stuff, then that is what it is. But if you couldn't do what you could do here in your own country, how dare you come over here and look down on us? If you're a refugee, if you're escaping extreme disparities in your own country, and all this other stuff that we have to deal with. And that goes, when I say immigrants, I'm talking about people from the Middle East, Europe, the Latin countries, the Africa. Like, y'all coming over here looking at my people when y'all don't even know our fucking history. Y'all don't, of course y'all didn't take the time. All y'all did was watch the media and say, ooh, that's what they doing. They sagging their pants. Ooh, just look at Western media all day and didn't even study our fucking culture and history. But then still want to be all up in our mix and take advantage of our benefit. The little bit of benefits that we got that don't even, affirmative action does not benefit us. We all know that white women benefited more from affirmative action. That homeowners loan, that GI Bill, Black people didn't benefit from that. So the little tiny bit of resources that we got, here y'all come with your hands in the cookie jar while still trying to look down when y'all couldn't do shit in y'all own country. And I've seen these countries in Latin America and studied this stuff and studied these countries even in Europe and Russia and all these countries are not doing good. And y'all have to run over here and benefit off and leech off of Americans and leech off of our hard work that really my ancestors fought for. Because a lot of these social benefits stemmed from, again, we talked about that Black Panther Party with that free lunch program and those after school programs on that shit. That was started by them. And And then we talk about the New Deal. That was buried off the backs of all Americans' oppression and pain from the Great Depression that we had to suffer when our economy fucking tanked on Tuesday of 1929, called Black Tuesday. So, and Black Americans, we suffered during the Great Depression. We was already, knowing how to live off the land and knowing how to, we survived. As always, we always survive. But this is why the Black American series is in existence, because again, I kept telling y'all, for 3 reasons. Because y'all got to understand, we are our own group, we have our own identity. No, none of y'all can be Black Americans unless you have a 700-year lineage here. Unless you have our multi-generational admixture here, and you are a descendant of chattel slavery, of enslaved Africans, as well as enslaved indigenous aboriginals, indigenous people to this land. And that's just how it go. It's as simple as that. So we are our own group and we have our own culture. The second was to let the Black American know how to codify our own culture. These are the principles. These are our history. This is the philosophy of the Black American. Here are the tenets. Here are our values, and to really concretize our own culture by knowing our history, by knowing how to go forward, by knowing what we have done, and by knowing what we went through. That's the second reason. And the third reason is for the history to be out for all people to know when they want to know, okay, what has the Black American went through? We keep hearing this ADOS shit, OBA, FBA, all this stuff. IBA now, I heard some called Indigenous, Black American, all types of stuff. So it's like, what is all these groups, and they're all under the Black American umbrella. Then we know about the Geechee and the Creole. So what is the Black American? Okay, now you have a document, a series for history, documenting everything that we know. I'm a scholar, so this history is accurate. You can go find it, like even like say those redlining maps. You can find that at ncrc.org, and that is from the President Structure, Segregation, and Economic Inequality National Community Reinvestment Coalition. I didn't just make some shit and pull some shit out my ass and stuff and just say, oh, here it go. This is stuff that is document. This stuff come from elite institutions, most likely at the Ivy League level, the Library of Congress, government documents. So y'all not get, this is our history. This is what happened to us, the Black American. So this is being told from the mind and the mouth of a Black American, because I know my own fucking history. And you're not getting no cookie cutter PBS type shit. You getting it raw and unfiltered. It's not going to be like PBS. The research is on the level of PBS, but as far as the cadence, the tone, it's up there. But I don't care about the cursing, and I don't really care that I say unpolitically correct stuff, because it is what it's going to be. As far as my gripes that I have with this disrespect of my fucking lineage, that is going to be said in this documentary. Unlike how a PBS will make it all sugarcoat like we all one, and we not. We are our own separate ethnicity lineage in the diaspora, and we do have African ancestry. We don't deny that, because y'all not about to be saying, oh, y'all self-haters. We're proud to have melanin. We have always been proud. We always thought we was gonna be Pan-Africans and go back to Africa, and some of us really are still going to. Some of us gonna go back, but we know there's already 500,000 Black Americans already over in Africa. We're going to link with them. They already have their own towns. So do the Jamaicans. So even if a Black American do want to leave and go wherever he want to go, even in Thailand, there's a group of Black Americans in Thailand. So you can go to Thailand, but we're most likely going to stick with our own. Just like when y'all come over here as Arabs and all this other stuff, y'all stick with your own. The Dominicans, y'all stick with your own. Straight up. So that's the wave we on, the consciousness that we on. Protect our group and be for our group. Look out for each other and start building our own shit up again. Simple as that. The rest of y'all, if y'all rock with us and support us, and y'all not jealous and envious, don't be coming to us saying we divisive. Don't be coming to us saying we need to include. No, y'all don't include us in y'all shit. That's a fact. We all tried to get along and all that stuff and go to the Ghanaian party, the Senegalese parties, and hang out and be friends and all this stuff. And we seen how y'all acted towards our people. That envy, and out of nowhere, just straight up hatred out of nowhere. That's linked to jealousy, which we are going to talk about the historical reasons for why the Black American was sold from Africa in the first place. I'm going to break this shit down. So the Black American series comes from a place of great pain, great joy, and great awareness, great self-awareness, and knowledge of self. And all the Black Americans, keep your head up. Keep your head to the sky. Go listen to that Earth, Wind, and Fire song, Head to the Sky. It was the anthem for Black people in, I want to say, the 1970s. Now, I'm not allowed to play that on YouTube, I think, because I probably get, you know how they doing this copyright stuff, and they even threaten to throw people in jail if they violate DMCA and stuff. So, I'm not going to be able to play that song for you. But go type in that song, keep your head up to the sky, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and let that serenade your soul while you prepare for the next video, because it's gonna get a little heavy. Like, again, a lot of the stuff that we doing, it's a little depressing, as I'm going giving you this information. It's making me sad as I'm giving it to you, but we are gonna get to some more flex. We're gonna be able to flex. We're gonna know a lot more about our history, as far as the more positive aspects of the Black American. Literally just focus on like Black Americans and what they have done, and the strides and the beautiful things that they have contributed to science and inventions and math and all types of stuff. We're gonna get really deep. But the next video is going to be criminal justice, dealing with a lot of the criminal justice stuff that we dealt with, the war on drugs and mass incarceration. So again, it's going to be just a little bit more somber, and then we got to cover healthcare, and then after that, I think we might do education too. I'm not sure. Education going to be real quick, but then we're going to get into we got to do the wealth gap, and then we're going to get into some more fun things, things that we can flex on, things that you could use to flex on motherfuckers. And I stop cussing so much. But yeah, so stay tuned, keep your head to the sky, okay? And I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Bye.